This is the crazy story of Rainbow Six Siege and the man who saved it. Our story starts in 1984. An insurance agent reached out to the Navy. The Navy's publisher, Naval Institute Press, was publishing titles like Naval Ship Handling, the Naval Officer's Guide, the Marine Officer's Guide, and the Coast Guardsman Manual. They were surprised to hear from this insurance agent who had written a compelling novel about submarine warfare. The novel was called The Hunt for Red October. The author was called Tom Clancy. The novel went on to be a breakout bestseller, which ultimately became the blockbuster movie featuring the character Jack Ryan. Clancy went on to write 17 bestsellers, including Patriot Games, Clarion Present Danger, and The Sum of All Fears. He even co-owned the baseball team, the Baltimore Orioles. In 1990, Clancy co-founded a video game company called Red Storm Entertainment. The initial releases were submarine-based games. However, in 1998, Clancy published Rainbow Six, a techno-thriller novel about a secret counter-terrorism organization. In tandem with the release, Red Storm also released a game which went on to dwarf the novel's success. That game, Rainbow Six, spawned a series of 13 games, 6 expansion packs, many of which have gone to be highly influential and successful games. Along the way, Ubisoft acquired Red Storm Entertainment in 2000. A decade later, Ubisoft was working on their next Tom Clancy Rainbow Six game, Tom Clancy Rainbow Six Patriots.
Rainbow Six Patriots was a story-driven game where the player was part of an anti-terrorist organization and was tasked with eliminating terrorist threats. Rainbow Six Patriots was unique in its approach, as it let players view the story from the terrorist side, along with their victims. This choice was controversial, as it put more mature themes in the game, but Ubisoft pressed on. Development was rough, with their main creative director being cut from the team, along with many other higher-ups. The teams working on Rainbow Six Patriots were relocated to work on other projects, and with that, development ceased. The launch date of the game came and passed. Only after many years did Ubisoft formally announce the cancellation of the project. Many were disappointed about the shortcomings of a popular series, but Ubisoft wasn't done.
With only a team of 25 developers, they began to experiment with the mechanics of the canceled project and decided on a more linear, tactical, teamwork-based approach to their new project, along with new physics-based destruction to add to realism and the tactical feel. In 2013, at E3, Ubisoft released a short demo of a 5v5 tactical shooter where one team breached into a small house on a cul-de-sac, whilst 5 players were sent to defend. The demo featured mostly the new physics engine with destructive walls, floors, and barricades. Ubisoft called the project Rainbow Six Siege. Fans were uncertain. Their once beloved series had completely pivoted from their story-based game to a now multiplayer shooter. But when Rainbow Six Siege released in 2015, fans realized they were in good hands. The game delivered with some of the same mechanics of the alpha demo, except with a unique gadgetry and weapons for each operator, adding a new level of complexity. Fans were hooked. The premise of Rainbow Six Siege is simple. The attacking side, whose job is to breach into a designated premise using teamwork and their unique gadgets that can range from a simple sledgehammer to an explosive exothermic charge that can blow down walls and barricades. After they enter the site, they must complete the objective, whether that is planting the diffuser, rescuing the hostage, or staying in the designated area for a specified amount of time. The opposing team, the defenders, whose job is to prepare for the siege by reinforcing walls, barricading doors, and barricading windows, and placing their gadgets that can range from bear traps to kill enemy players to player-controlled cameras that have the ability to shoot attacking players in their gadgets. A good lineup of operators is essential to both teams, requiring precise operators for a different job. Whether that's to get picks across the site, like Ash, who's armed with a high fire rate gun and a shootable explosive charge that can knock down unreinforced walls and barricades. Or someone's job who is to make holes into the site, like Thermite, who's armed with a low fire rate rifle and an exothermic charge to blow down reinforced walls. And not only do the attackers require a good lineup of operators, but defense as well. Without a player for each job, attackers are able to pick apart defense with ease and destroy the team with little to no effort. The game was simple, once it was learned and understood, but the skill ceiling was immense, with tons of room to grow and create your own playstyle. Not to mention a solid company constantly updating the game with new operators, maps, guns, and abilities. The game never felt old. Fans were in love. One particular player, Jason Bolo Doty, a young gamer out of LA who once played the R6 demo, was hooked. And not only was he hooked, he was good. So good, he began to catch eyes from popular streamers, content creators, and fans, recognizing him as a potential Pro League player, and with recognition comes hate. Bolo was too good, with him drawing tons of cheating accusations, so much he was forced to start streaming in 2017 to prove he was legit. After proving his haters wrong, Bolo began to become so good that the game quickly morphed around his playstyle, with him constantly creating new techniques like the quick peek. For this reason, Bolo became the #1 content creator for Siege, but people were questioning, was he really good, or were his opponents bad? Fans would get the answer, as days before his 18th birthday, he signed to one of the most popular professional gaming organizations for Rainbow, TSM. And Bolo didn't just deliver, he destroyed his competition, eventually winning countless pro leagues and tournaments, going down as one of the greatest players to ever do it. But with every happy story comes an end. In 2019, Bolo retired from professional gaming to work more on his content creation.
No easy way to do this. I am retiring from Rainbow Six Pro Play. I've been playing Siege for 7 years now, about half that time as a pro player. I started my Siege journey as a casual gamer, turned content creator, turned pro player, and nothing short of a dream come true. You've probably pictured yourself up on that stage, lifting that hammer in front of everybody, and truly being the best of the best. And I, very fortunately, had a little taste of that. And I beat the fucking game.
Not only did Bolo's retirement hit hard to the community, but the game as well. Rainbow Six Siege had just lost their icon, and soon, it began to fall. Ubisoft was suffering from internal management issues, slowing the game's update speed to a crawl, with each update adding less than what fans desired. Soon, the game felt old and outdated. With no new meta and awkward balance changes, the game began to morph into a Call of Duty-esque game where instead of tactically entering sight using their gadgets and teamwork, players decided to rush in and run and gun their way out of gunfights. And unfortunately, it worked. Many were upset about this new change to the meta, but with no response from Ubisoft, many left, leading to pro teams dissolving and many popular content creators quitting the game. Along with the release of a similar tactical 5v5 shooter, Valorant, players found no need to play Siege anymore. The game was slowly dying, and the remaining fans were crying out for hope. But there was one beacon of hope, a shining light in the dark, a lone warrior against the world, a man named Nicholas Stewart. also known as Jinxie.
Alright, that's me.
Spotted by hostiles. Fall back.
Guys, Bald Jinxie is back. You can call me Pulse. Guardiax, sensor deployed.
Not the hero we expected, but the hero we needed. A content creator out of Florida who started streaming at 18, but to little success. Jinxie would play Siege day in and day out, constantly cracking jokes with his unique taste in comedy that appealed to a new generation, Gen Z. He hit it off instantly, with pros and content creators alike recognizing his presence in early 2022, the peak of Rainbow Six Siege's depression. But Jinxie had a mission. Though his funny clips and moments, he showed fans that there was still a chance for Siege. And with that, Siege began to have a resurgence. In early 2023, Siege began to rise in player count daily because of Jinxie. And not only was Ubisoft's numbers increasing, but also his. Jinxie began to become one of the most common names in the streaming world. But Jinxie wasn't just putting up numbers for Siege, but his own content creation as well. Jinxie quickly became the #1 streamer in the world, getting over 5.6 million followers on Twitch, 2.7 million on YouTube, but all of these numbers pale into comparison of Jinxie's TikTok, amassing a whopping 6.6 million followers and 190 million likes. Jinxie had made it, solidifying his spot in the Hall of Fame in both content creation and Siege. Jinxie had opened the gates, and players were flowing in. Soon enough, Siege began to hit a record-breaking number. In 2024, Siege broke their all-time record player count with over 200,000 active players, the first time in its 9-year history. Ubisoft began to release balancing changes and speed up update times. Making players stay was a challenge, but Ubisoft was up to it, releasing one of the greatest balancing changes of its history, removing the overpowered 1.5 times scope and reworking the anti-cheat. Rainbow Six Siege was back, and with it, a whole new generation of players. And it showed, with Siege being one of the most popular games in the world as of now. It's crazy to think a once cancelled project being reformed into one of, if not the most impressive and popular tactical shooters in history. And so now the question lies, what comes next? Will Jinxie be unable to keep up and fall from his throne, deserting Rainbow? Or will the game flourish and be seated amongst the likes of Fortnite and Call of Duty as the untouchable giants of the gaming industry?